Hey everybody, this is Meyer, and in this video what we're going to be doing is creating this snare roll here. That works, before the drop or anything like that. Alright, so to go ahead and get started, as usual, we're going to clone our init patch. I'm just going to call this snare roll. And we're just going to choose, I guess, a kind of drum kind of color. And what I'm going to be using the sample oscillator for this right here. So we're going to load in our sample. I'm going to go ahead and choose load sample. We're going to choose this snare here. And I don't want to tune this. So we're going to turn key tracking off, and we're not going to tune it. So we need to move this up an octave. Now the cool thing right now, we can actually adjust the envelope just like any other, oscillator. What I want to do is set this to polyphonic 1. That way, we can basically get this kind of this looping piece. So basically what I want it to do is kill the old voice when the new one is playing. So kind of as such. Now, one of the things that we can't do is we can't really modulate the speed here. But what we can do, there are a few things we can actually do to make this a little bit more interesting. One is going to be, we're going to use the mod wheel to adjust the volume. So, oops, mono. That's what we'll do. Kind of like this. What I also want to do with the pitch wheel is make it so that this will actually kind of go up in pitch. So right now that's not what's going on, but what I can do is I can actually map MIDI pitch wheel to oscillator 1 pitch. And the other thing I can do with this pitch wheel, the reason I like doing it this way, is we can actually have this have a filter. So what we can do is, as we increase in pitch. So that's what we'll do here. So I'm going to choose here MIDI, pitch wheel, and over here, we're going to choose filter 1, cutoff 1. Kind of like this. And also with this mod wheel, what I'm going to do is slowly fade this in. So we're going to use a low pass filter here. Doesn't matter. This butter one is actually pretty transparent. So I'm not trying to color the sound with this filter at all. This Butterworth probably is my guess. So we'll use this. Kind of like this. Same thing with the effects. We'll go ahead and add a little bit of reverb, just maybe a touch of plate reverb. And as before, I think what I want to have happen is the pitch wheel. So MIDI pitch wheel, this is going to what we're going to do is we're going to go to effects, and we're going to choose effects to mix. So it gets more reverby. And then we're also going to choose FX3 mix as well. So FX mix 3. This is also from MIDI pitch wheel. So let's go ahead and see. We can also EQ the sound a little bit. And we can decide if we want to have this transient boost. I like it. I think it sounds great. So let's go ahead and just kind of pencil this in here. I'm going to go ahead and piano roll. Actually, we need to create a new MIDI pattern here. So I'm just going to call this snare roll. And we'll just give it a color and just kind of plop it in at any point where we need it. And rather than needing to actually, arpeggiate this, we can just go ahead and... Now what we might be able to do is if we're lazy, we could, of course, have this kind of chop the last bar. So I could do something like this and then select this, Command or Alt U. So actually what I'm going to do, Alt U, chop this a little bit finer. Yeah, like that. Okay, cool. So that's going to be this snare roll here. Now what we can do is just go ahead and tweak this, tools, last tweaked, create automation clip, but I also want to be doing the pitch wheel as well. So the best way to do this is to set this range to 12 and create an automation clip for the pitch wheel. So we have both of these here for the snare roll. Let's go ahead and make sure they are linked correctly. So the thing about the channel pitch that we need to be careful of and for this pitch wheel, I want this to be, let me set this at 50%. The reason I'm going to do this is because I only want it to go up. I only want this to go up in pitch. So let's go ahead and listen to this. Yeah, like that. And I think as this comes over to the end here, we're going to just cut this down a little bit. Actually, I think I'm just going to do this. So it'll only rise in pitch a little bit because this only needs to be 4 bars here. And then this one can be kind of the same as we did before, except I don't want it to do the little really fast part at the end. And then this last section as well. Oops, did not mean to do that. Oopsies. And actually, what I need to make sure is this is actually at the minimum value. So I need to copy this value and paste it to this automation. This is just an FL Studio. Oops, FL Studio thing. So for this channel pitch, minimum value needs to be right there in the center. And if I route this to the mixer using Command and L, or I can just click the track button. Oops. Like so.